हेलो एवरीबॉडी एंड वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल एंड आज के वीडियो में वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट नाइपर जेई प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस एंड सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर्स। आज करीबन 50 क्वेश्चंस लाए हम। आई विल बी sharing across with you those questions and discussing as well. So this PDF is also available on SlideShare. You can go and check on SlideShare account. I'm just presenting it. Right. So first question is immunoglobulin is. So the question was how many chains are present in immunoglobulin and what is the linkage? So it is a disulfide linkage with two light chain, two heavy chain, kappa lambda. You would have heard about light chain, heavy chain, right? It is a Y shaped. The antibody is Y shaped. It has paratopes, which is the paratopes and epitopes, right? And then there are two regions, two fragments, Fab and FC. FC fragment represents a constant region, while the Fab fragment represents the variable region. Then which of the following is not causing enzyme induction? So there were examples like rifampicin, carbamazepine, that were alcohol, that were enzyme inducers. One of them, that is antibiotics, are mostly enzyme inhibitors like fluoroquinolones, fluorophonamides, beta-lactam antibiotics, linezolid and all. Then we had detector used in IR. So IR has different sources and detectors. We have bolometer, Goles head, Nurst Globar, incandescent lamp, thermocoupler. So you had to answer that. Then the fourth question is what is the function of the microvilli present in the intestine? So villi are what? Finger-like projections that increase the surface increases surface area for absorption. Then you have to find the pH of 0.05 molar HCl, right? So pH is what? Negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. So negative logarithm of 5 into 10 raised to minus 3, that would come around 2.3 or something. So the pH is found out by the concentration of hydrogen ion, right? We all know about this. So next up we had pH of pKa is of pK 5.4. So we all know that pH is equal to pKa plus log of salt upon acid, or salt upon base, whatever it is. And pK is negative logarithm of Ka. We all know about that as well. Dissociation constant, right? So from this formula you would have easily found out the pH of the pKa. Then the IR range for CO carbonyl groups, right? So it can be COCl, it can be COH, it can be COOR, ether, ester, anything. So the question is maybe not complete. Neostigmine does not cross the blood-brain barrier because neostigmine is polar in nature, right? The next question was drugs which cross the blood-brain barrier need to be permeable, need to be high lipophilic. The molecular weight must be, like we all know about the Lipinski's rule of 5 for oral acceptability, right? Log P less than 5, molecular weight less than 500 Daltons, right? We all know hydrogen bond acceptors, hydrogen bond donors are included in this. Then the following is the most commonly used HPLC phase. So your reverse phase mein the question was on actually not on the phase, that was on column used in reverse phase. So the answer was C18, chlorooctadecyl, right? C8 and C18, there are two columns that are being used. So that was one of the answer. Now next, so now if I talk about your phenolphthalein. So phenolphthalein is basically what? Phenolphthalein is your basically a indicator, and this indicator is usually useful for different kinds of titrations, right? So your acid-base titrations, your redox titration, your complexometry. But phenolphthalein is basically giving you pink color in the as 8 to 11 pH, right? Next up we have drugs acid by acid base back titration. So drugs acid by acid base back titration are usually aspirin because it is a indirect or a back titration kind of substance that is acid. Next up, which is the following used strong base. So it was a graphical question. So strong acid, strong base. You had to tell which graph it was. Next question, amiloride and spironolactone differ in. So amiloride and spironolactone, if you remember, they both are potassium sparing diuretics. Triamtrene, amiloride, spironolactone. So there's active metabolite of spironolactone. Then there's a pyrazine ring present in triamtrene, amiloride, and in triamtrene there is a pteridine ring. So all those things you need to know. Then statins mechanism, so it reduces the HMG-CoA reductase enzyme, and thus it prevents cholesterol formation. Next up, we have which of the following is not related with enalapril. So enalapril is basically a ACE inhibitor, and it is there were question on ACE inhibitors. There was a second option as causing dry cough, which is due to bradykinin disturbance. The next question was it is a captopril congener. So obviously the answer was the fourth option was angiotensin antagonist. So it is not an angiotensin antagonist. We have losartan, valsartan, telmisartan, candesartan that are angiotensin receptor antagonists. Then equation of angle of repose. So we have tan theta is equal to h upon r. So in one of the option it was given r upon h, and one of the option was given sin theta and all. Next up, we have characteristics of liposomes. So your liposomes are basically small vesicular drug delivery systems that are lipids. So there are phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, phosphatidylethanolamine, phosphatidylaninositol, different phospholipids that are used in for entrapment of the particular core. Then we have eye drops and parenterals difference. So definitely the aseptic area. Then you have filling. So filtration, say you check the particular membrane filtration, so you sterilize and all. So there's are different things that you perform in eye drops, ophthalmic preparations. Then you also perform the different kind of sterilization techniques and all. Colchicine. So colchicine is useful in gout because colchicine, we have acute gout, different treatments like NSAIDs, colchicine, right? So one of them is colchicine that is useful in gout. So you had to know, and let me know in the comment section, colchicine is obtained from an insect or is it obtained from a plant? So you have cochineal, again a substance, and you have colchicine. So let me know which one is a colorant and which one is used in gout. Okay. Then we have omeprazole. So it is a proton pump inhibitor acting by the hydrogen potassium ATPase pump. The next was muscarinic antagonist used in ulcers. So it was piperazine, and so the right answer was piperazine. Other muscarinic antagonists were given, like a lot of different antagonists were given. We had dicyclomine and all. So the right answer was tropicamide was also one of the option as far as I remember. So there are isopropamide, tropicamide are useful in eye preparations. Most commonly used in Parkinson's disease. So we had a lot of anticholinesterase drug, and one of the option was levodopa. So obviously, since the dopamine level is reduced in the substantia nigra pars compacta, increase the dopamine level. So levodopa is the right answer. Then the dopamine agonist. So in the option, levodopa was also there in this option, but levodopa is a precursor. The dopamine and agonist is bromocriptine or pergolide, right? We have two agonists. Visual calling is not acting through nuclear receptors. So nuclear receptors are mostly steroids act, like corticosteroids, mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, anabolic steroids, but mostly amino acid like trypsin do not act by nuclear receptor. Insulin acts by receptor tyrosine kinase, right? So nucleus is present in coumarin. So it was which drug contains the nucleus as coumarin? So the answer was warfarin. Then which of the following is useful in vascular disease? So ginkgo biloba is a PAF antagonist. So they did not ask the mechanism, they asked the mechanism action based disease, that if it is a PAF antagonist, in which disease it will be used. So you should be able to link that. Then podophyllitoxin is a ligand, of course, podophyllin, peltatum and exandrum, and it is useful in cancer. Then we had bacterial cell walls consist of heteropolysaccharide, which is NAM and NAC, and acetylmuramic acid and acetylglucosamine. In indole biosynthesis, which amino acid is used as precursor? So tryptophan is a precursor for indole amino acid, indole ring, and like we have tryptophan for adrenaline preparation as well. Then you have serotonin as well. Then we have tyrosine for adrenaline. We have different amino acids. Then we have glycine for hemoglobin. We have different amino acids for the precursor, and then we have histidine for histamine. है ना? So lots of amino acids that are useful as precursors. Then sugar in protein preparation acts as a, so sugar is basically cryoprotective agent in protein preparations. So we have trehalose. We have a lot of sugar molecules that are non-reducing sugar especially. Then non-aqueous binder. So the dry binder PVP is non-aqueous binder, polyvinyl pyrrolidone. Then what is the iodine value? So number of grams of iodine absorbed by 100 grams of fat is iodine value, and it is useful. Let me know what is it useful for. Like saponification is for rancidity. So is iodine value useful for molecular weight or something else? Let me know in the comment section. Then we have SDS page used for, so it is a electrophoresis technique for separation of protein molecules based upon the molecular weight only, not on the basis of charge, because you add a denaturing agent. This is sodium dodecyl sulfate, surfactant, right? Anionic surfactant. yield calculation. So there was some yield calculation. So you had to calculate practical yield upon theoretical yield, those kind of things. Then DSC, differential scanning calorimetry. Okay, one question was there. Then oxochrome functional group. So the answer was OH. Which of the following is not an oxochrome was the question. Then Van Thopp's equation, it is for osmotic pressure. So we have different colligative properties: elevation and boiling point, depression and freezing point, osmotic pressure, vapor pressure. So you had osmotic pressure, the Van Thopp's, right? Accelerated stability studies is the what for it's obviously the answer was 45 degrees at 75 RH for 6 months. Which of the following is most permeable to moisture? So your polyethylene, high density poly HDPE and LDPE, low density polyethylene and high density polyethylene. Then expiry date is determined along with the container. So the answer was shelf life. The shelf life is indirectly the expiry date, which is T90, denoted by T90, right? Then upfield and downfield from NMR spectroscopy, you had a question. So in this you had shielding and de-shielding effect where this question was there. Then the mechanism of action of nitrates were vasodilatory, right? We have minoxidil also, hydralazine as vasodilators, lot of drugs. Then circular dichromism play one question was there. So it is used for 2D proteins and for optically active compounds. Then we have questions on simple and compound interest. Then these are not important questions. Then digitalis acts by the sodium potassium ATPase pump obtained from digitalis purpurea and lanata, and it is very important cardinoloid because we have a lot of tests as well, like Kete, Keller, Kiliani, Legal, Baljet, Raymond. Syphilis is caused by, so Neisseria gonorrhea causes gonorrhea and Treponema pallidum causes syphilis. Acetazolamide ka mechanism of action was asked, so it contains a thiodiazole ring and it is a carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. Then unit of delta, so tau and delta. Tau is equal to 10 minus delta. This is useful in the spectroscopy techniques like coupling constant, like we have J, and also all these questions can come in examinations. So you need to be well versed with this. And then HIV is caused by which virus? So HIV is caused by human immunodeficiency virus. It is caused by what? Bacteria, virus, fungi. That was a question, right? Next up, we have few useful acronyms because acronyms पे there are question asked like GRAS, generally regarded as safe, Bureau or BEA, breeding for experimental animals, IAEC, CCSEA, NCE, inactive ingredient guide, IIG, NDA, ANDA. So that's all for a few of the questions that were asked in Niper. We'll be coming soon with a lot more videos. I hope you enjoy the videos and do like, share, subscribe my channel for more such upcoming